Today's candle live making session. My name is Natasha, and we're gonna have loads of fun today. We're gonna be making our very own candles using our home making candle kit that we have over here. I'll give you guys a better look later at the end of the session. We're gonna get started with our candle making first. So before we start, let's just get on a pot of boiling water and just turn up the heat. So we want to get that boiling. We are going to be using a double boiler method for this candle making, all right? And then we have everything we need here. So we have the melting pot, which is really important, and I'll show you why in a bit. So place the melting pot over like a weighing scale, all right? And you're gonna want to measure out 150 grams of soy wax, all right? So these are pre-packed packages that we have in our kit. It is 100% non-toxic soy wax, okay? So you're just gonna measure it out and make sure it's at 150 grams, okay? So that's the amount of wax we're gonna be using for our candle today. So it should be exact according to the bag, but let's just double check. All right. Yep, 150 grams over here. So as you can see, the wax is pretty fine. It looks like this. It's pretty easy to break down when you're boiling it. But just because the pieces are not so big, they're pretty small. If you do have big chunks, you can use your hands or a spoon to just break it down so it doesn't take too much time, okay? The entire process of this candle making should take only about 30 minutes of your time. So it is a really quick way to start a new hobby or help you de-stress after a long day. Candles are great for elevating moods, all right? So we have our candle jar here. Just before we start, with the jar, let's go and put this melting pot onto our boiling pot of water here. So there's a clasp over here, which makes it really easy for you. You don't have to hold it over the water. So just hook it on to that double boiler. So your water should be boiling or fairly hot, and it's going to really speed up the process of the melting wax, okay? So you can just give it a good stir. Make sure it's melting evenly throughout the pot. And it should melt pretty fast if the water is at a boiling point, okay? So let's move on to our jar. So while that's melting, it might take a couple minutes. We'll get started with the jar and the candle wick, all right? So our candle wicks look something like this. You have a nice little rope and a metal clasp at the bottom. So what we're gonna do is use a sticker that we will also provide you with. So we're just gonna remove the base over here. Okay. It's very sticky. Okay, remove the base just like that, and we're gonna stick it onto the metal clasp right here. So it should be stuck on like this. And we're gonna stick it onto the base of our glass candle jar. So we're gonna be using 2 wicks, all right? And this is because it's based on the diameter of the jar that you have. So ensure equal burn throughout the candle. And also it will help to burn as much wax as possible, and so it would just be very little left over. So you're basically spending good money for a long-lasting candle, okay? So you want to make sure the two wicks are a distance apart, not right next to each other. So you can try placing it on each corner of the jar. Just make sure to press that in, make sure it's stuck on nicely. Use your finger, you can use a pencil, or if you have like a glass rod like this, just push down the sticker onto the base. And if you have this nice little metal device, it's really good for candle making, very useful. It's perfect for separating your wicks when you're doing the sticking, okay? So let's do that again for the second wick. Remember to keep an eye on your wax as well as you're doing this. It is melting pretty fast. Just give it a nice stir so we can push down the bigger chunks. Yep, very good. Okay, so on to the second wick. We have the sticker, stick it onto the bottom. Make sure it's nice and stuck on there. And we're just gonna make sure there's a little space in between both wicks, all right? Stick it on each corner, and you can push it down the base. And now we use this little metal device here to hold the wicks apart. Okay, it's really useful. And we're just going to keep this on until we pour the wax in. So it should look a little like this. All right, your wicks are nicely separated and it's stuck at the base of the candle, so nothing should fall out. It's nicely stuck there, okay? And we'll just keep that there for a bit. Now we're going to focus on our wax. All right, it's mostly melted. Just keep stirring. Water's at a nice boiling point now. Right, so this is what I mean by bigger chunks. Can you see this big chunk here? So it usually takes a while to melt, but what you can do is if you have a spoon or a spatula, you can kind of just push down on it, break it down, or speed up the melting process a bit. Yeah. So remember, what makes a candle unique is there are so many things that make a candle unique. There's so many properties behind candles, but what makes it unique usually are the colors and scents that come along with it. Today we are creating just a regular candle to start off with, but in the future we do offer many different variety of scents, essential oils, fragrances, also colors. So these can be used for many different purposes. Usually the most common is for healing or meditation, also known as chakra candles. So we use different colors and different fragrances that are associated with our different energy centers in the body. For example, we have the root chakra, which is for grounding yourself to keep you feeling supported and secure. This is where we use a red coloring with our candles, and we also use the frankincense essential oil to help with really elevate that energy center. So we do offer all of these. We also do offer our candle making kits, which we can deliver right to your doorstep, very easy for you. You have all the equipment and all the items that you need, and you can create your own candles at home. We also have fun interactive courses where you can make candles alongside others who are on this new journey of igniting a new passion, or people who already have a lot of passion towards candle making. It is very therapeutic, so I just love watching the wax melt. Very satisfying. And if you've had a long day, you're feeling stressed out, this really does just relax you. Another thing, if you're having like blocked nose or flu or anything, which is really common nowadays, there is a really bad flu going around. Just standing over the melting pot with the boiling, there's a lot of steam coming from the boiling water. Just breathing in the steam and the wax does help to clear up the blocked nose as well. Really clears up sinuses. So remember, soy wax is non-toxic. It's vegan friendly. It also helps with clearer burning of candles. So it's not likely at all to trigger allergies compared to other types of candles, all right? It also has a lower melting point, meaning you can enjoy slower burning candles and longer lasting candles. All right, go ahead and turn off the boiling water if your wax is fully melted. And what we're gonna do is just let it sit there for a bit. We're gonna grab a thermometer and we're gonna measure the temperature. So we can only remove the melting pot from the boiling water once it's reached 79.5 degrees Celsius. So this thermometer is really good. We also do provide it in our kits. So it shows in Celsius and Fahrenheit. So make sure to click the Celsius setting. So we're looking at 79.5 degrees Celsius before we remove the pot from the water. Yeah. So other fun facts about candles. So actually candles have been used for decades, ages, but candles with different colors and scents actually only got introduced in the mid 1980s, which, yeah, it's a fun fact. And they were always marketed and established as mood elevators, even luxury gifts or decorative pieces. So those are really good ideas on how you can use your candles as well. They are really thoughtful gifts you can give to your loved ones, to your friends, to your parents, anyone. It is a very thoughtful and nice gift. Also used at home for either decoration, or if you have guests coming over, you want your house to smell really nice. You can create your own scented candle. Give your house like a signature scent. You know, like how those shopping malls in Singapore, they have like signature scents. Like if you've gone to Ion Orchard, once you step in the mall, you have this really nice like perfumey smell. You can create the same for your home with candles. All right. Our temperature is at 74, which is below 79.5. I think that's good enough. We're going to remove the melting pot from the boiling water. Just make sure you have cloth or tissue, anything to keep your countertop clean. Candle making can be a little messy, so we're going to try to avoid any mess, all right? Okay, so since we are not including any essential oils or fragrances today, we're just gonna use a spoon or a glass rod if you have one like this, or a spoon, up to you, just to lightly, gently stir the wax. So we just wanna, this will help to speed up that cooling process for the wax. We're gonna wait till the wax reaches around 63 degrees Celsius before we can put it into our glass jar. Usually, if you are including essential oils, this would be the time where you would be doing so. We usually recommend 15 ml of whatever fragrance that you like, and you can gently pour it in batches and stir it in. If you don't have essential oils, it's fine. We can just create a candle. Candles alone are really great for meditation. You don't need specific fragrances. There is this technique which is really trending these days called candle gazing. It really helps to improve your focus, concentration, also helps to clear the mind, which is really great. So you guys can consider trying that out, especially if you're someone who's very busy but finding it really hard to focus or concentrate at work or school. Candle gazing is a really good technique. You can try to work on that. So we're just stirring again, stirring until we reach around 63 degrees Celsius. So you should have this consistency with your wax. Sorry, I forgot to show you guys. It has this like this oil-like look. So if you guys can see, it should be just watery like that, no clumps. All right. Yes, you can do this as well to cool it down. Please do not put it in a refrigerator or a freezer. That will really mess the setting process for the candle. So let it cool down naturally, or most to most, you can do like little stirring just to get some excess heat out. All right, we've stirred for quite some time. Let's measure the temperature. So remember, set your thermometer to degrees Celsius, and we're trying to aim for 63 or below to pour into the metal jar, I mean the glass jar. So this is glass, so we cannot pour anything too hot because it might cause cracks in the jar itself, and we don't want that. So try to adhere to the proper measurements for temperature. Yeah, so another fun fact about candles, you guys, if you didn't already know this, your candles actually should not produce any smoke when you're burning them. So this is an indication that your candle wick itself might be too long. So what you have to do is, just rule of thumb, just make sure in the future, before you start to burn your candle, you always cut the wick at least a quarter of an inch above where the wax has set. So that will ensure you don't get any, we call it soot, so it's like this black residue. So it won't like stain your candle. You won't have this like black powdery or liquidy thing floating around in the candle. It also does affect the smell, so remember to trim your wick. You can use scissors, or if scissors are really hard to you know, go into the jar because the diameter isn't too big, you can use nail clippers as well. That's a really good hack. Okay, we are at 66, which is still above the given temperature. So not to worry, like I said, you can just keep stirring to really just cool down the wax a bit. So yeah, the reason why I haven't trimmed the wicks yet is because we only do so after we have poured the wax into the jar, all right? Because you don't want to cut it and then it's later too short or too long. It's going to be a hassle for you, so it's better just to pour the wax in. let the wax set, and then later on you can cut the wick according to how high up in the jar the wax has set. Okay, let's try again. So 63 degrees Celsius. So usually when you add essential oils or fragrances, you will notice a change in the texture of the melted wax. So right now I told you it looks like oil. It's very clear. But when you do add in essential oils, the texture just changes. It changes like liquid gold. Yeah, there will be like it'll look extra oily. So not to worry. That doesn't mean anything bad. It's just the fragrance binding in with the wax. Okay, perfect. We're at 62.5. So that's below 63. That's good enough. So now what we're gonna do is grab our jar, and we're just gonna pour the wax inside. So remember, keep the metal piece on. That will really help to hold our wicks together. So you remember you want to leave at least half an inch of space from the top to where your wax is being poured. Okay, it's all right if you have a little bit of excess. You can either store that and keep that for later on, or yeah, it's very little. It's just a few drops. So it's up to you what you want to use it for. But it should look something like this. So I don't know if you guys can see the line here, but you should have a little space, okay, from the top to where the wax ends. Because we do also have that little wooden top that you have to put over so you can store it next time, okay? So let's just let that sit. The wicks are sitting nicely. We'll let that set. So please remember to leave the candle at room temperature for at least 3 days before lighting it as well. Because this has no essential oils or fragrances, you can light the candle after approximately 3 days, but give it 3 days to fully set and fully harden and cool. All right, please try not to move the jar around too much, and make sure it's in room temperature. When you move the jar around too much, it can affect the cooling process of the candle, and you want to avoid any humid or cold environments. It won't let the candle set as nicely, and you might have dents or cracks in your candle, which we want to avoid. Okay. Yeah. So that's about it for the candle making. I'll just leave the candle here, and now I'll give you guys a little look of the kit that we are offering at the moment. All right. So this is our home candle making kit over here. It comes in this nice white box, just like that. So it has a magnetic latch as well. So this box is really great. It's very easy to close, very easy to open. Really great for storage if you have any small items or things that you need to store at home. Apart from that, what's in the box is pretty much what we had here today. We have a checklist of all the items you're gonna need. So we have the wax, candle jar, melting pot, thermometer. The fragrance oil is optional, up to you. We have the wicks and the stickers for the wicks, and we also offer optional color cubes. So this is something that we will be bringing in soon. If you guys are interested in experimenting with different colors, different scents, do stay tuned on our page. We will be offering that in a later time, okay? So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, what's next? We have our candle jar. So this is the same jar that we used today. It's a classic white jar, just like this, with a nice little wooden top. It's very minimalist. It can easily fit into your home as a decorative piece. You can also, actually, you can also paint on it if you're a painter or anything. If you want to give it as like a homemade gift, you can bedazzle it in any way you want. So yeah, it's like a empty canvas. Okay, and we have 150 grams of our soy wax. So people who are really passionate into candle making, they've made candles before. There might be many different types of wax that you can use. I know beeswax is really popular as well, but I think soy wax is a really great start. It also is non-toxic, so might be something good to consider. But you can look into other waxes if you like. But yeah, we offer 150 grams pre-packed, so you don't really have to measure it. You can kind of pour the whole thing in. And we have a melting pot for you. Like, this is my favorite. I think it's really useful and you can use it in your day-to-day cooking or baking or whatever you need. This is really great tool. We offer that for you guys as well. We also have your own thermometer. So it's the same as the one I used today. It comes in degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit. So both settings, it's a little sharp, so be careful with that. Also can be used for other cooking or making tea or whatever. And then the next one is we offer essential oil as well. So you will in the future have options to pick which fragrances you want. Like I said, stay tuned for that. And we also provide the wicks for you. And yeah, that's about it. If you're feeling a little lost, today was too much information for you to memorize or write down or whatever, it's okay. We also provide a step by step guide at the back of the checklist. But if you are someone who prefers to do it interactively with others, you want to make more friends, join our live course. It will be so much fun. We'll be doing everything together. If you have any questions along the way, you can always ask. And yeah, we'll just make a fun day out of it, okay? So, yeah, if you guys are interested in this, you guys enjoyed today's live, please remember to click on the link below. We have our homemade kits for you guys to purchase, or we can also do courses together. So it's really up to you what you guys want to do. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag your friends, and follow us. All right? Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.